So I was browsing Reddit earlier, and I know that's never a good thing to do, but I saw that there was an article posted that was concerning how NCSoft, who are the publishers of games like Ion, the Lineage games, Blade and Soul, were taking a guy to court after he spent $3.5 million in Lineage M on their game. Like, this guy spent $3.5 million US on their game, and they are taking him to court to sue him. Like, I read this and I was in shock. I was completely taken aback because that is a very interesting business tactic right there. This is apparently going around social media. This is apparently going around YouTube. This is going around all the various gaming media outlets in South Korea. But according to the Reddit post in specific, NCSoft, the second largest video game company well known for Lineage M and Lineage 2M, sued a player after a rollback incident. This case starts with a patch that was intended to decrease the gap between the whales and the middle class players. However, the whales already spent millions of dollars to upgrade their quote-unquote patterns, which gives stat boosts to your character, and they complained to the developers saying that they're going to mass PvP and kill players if they don't roll back the patch. NCSoft decided to roll back the patch, and the problem rises during this process. All the players who upgraded their patterns after the initial patch got scammed by the company and spent millions of dollars because they thought that the increase of probability will be a permanent thing, and I would think this way if I was the player of Lineage M. The important thing is that the players would not have spent the money if the probability is low. NCSoft just made players to open their wallet, and when they spend millions of dollars on the game, they roll back and give the currency back, forcing them to use the currency for something that has an unreasonably low probability. Now, let's just stop this there. What this is stating is that NCSoft went ahead and released a patch. Now, after that patch went live, there were a bunch of whales that went ahead here and spent a ton of money upgrading their quote-unquote patterns. I'm not 100% certain what those are, but these gave them beneficial stats, and I'm assuming it was RNG based, which meant that some people could spend, I don't know, something like $10,000. It might cost other people $100,000 to get what they're looking for. Now, after the players went ahead and spent all that money on perfecting their character, they went ahead and rolled the servers back, which meant that everything that they had acquired and achieved over the course of the period with which the patch was live is now completely reversed, and they have to go about reacquiring and redoing everything all over again. Now, if you've played a game like Genshin Impact, or if you've played any mobile game whatsoever, or even if you've played an MMO that has an RNG system in place on something like crafting or something like upgrading or enchanting, then you'll know that there is a percentage of success and a percentage of failure. So let's say you, for example, you want to go and upgrade your gear. The gear costs you maybe $100 worth of materials to ensure that this does not in fact fail. And then they roll back the servers after you spent $100 on that. Now you go and attempt to re-upgrade your gear all over again, and this time, after spending $100, you're still failing. So you go on to spend another $100, and you continue to fail. How is that fair when you had initially spent the $100 and you had initially acquired what you paid for? Now, let's keep reading here. NCSoft uses diamonds as their currency in order to upgrade the patterns. You must spend diamonds in a certain amount of holy water. Rather than NC giving players a refund, they gave them game currency for the refund. If the players received 100% refund on their diamonds, it would not be as big of a problem. However, NC gave only half of the diamonds and gave the holy water as the rest, which has zero value on the market. So wow. So instead of refunding all of the money that players spent, they refunded it as the currency itself, but only half of the currency, and the other half was given back to them as an item. So if I spent $1,000 on this, I would have got given $500 back. Not just $500, $500 of the game currency, not actually $500. I got zero of that $1,000 back, but I would have been given $500 back and then $500 worth of holy water. Because I mean, that makes sense, right? A player who spent $3.5 million, which is an exorbitant amount of money. I cannot believe, first and foremost, that anyone has $3.5 million to spend on a video game. Like, dude, I would have a house, I would have cars, that is crazy. But he went ahead, he called the customer center, which was closed 24/7 due to the state of the world right now. The player then went to the NC headquarters 3 times in a row to meet the NC executive regarding the issue, but people from NC never showed up. The player just wasted 3 days, so he got mad and blocked the entrance to the parking lot, yet people from NC didn't show up, but rather they ended up calling the police. Now, the police reached out to NC here, and they gave them 2 options: to reach a settlement or to sue the player in court. Without any communication, NC decided to sue the player, and this is currently causing madness in the Korean video game community. This is a reality of Korean video game companies. Even a dog will have a better treatment than these players. Players have lost their rights to deserve a good service. It's scary how companies became the king and players became the servants. No other industries that sell goods will treat the customers like this. Do not play NC games or play free to play because they are a group of thieves trying to plunder money from the players. Now, I mean, if that right there is not a testament to NCSoft's greed, then I honestly do not know what is. Now, because I wanted to verify the validity of this Reddit post, because I mean, the Reddit post could just be an angry kid that was upset that he had to spend more money than he initially anticipated. I went ahead and I Googled around, and this is in fact 100% legit. This guy really did go on to spend $3.5 million. According to various different articles, what happened was he reached out to their customer support. He found out that customer support was shut down temporarily, so he went to the NCSoft headquarters. Apparently, upon arriving, they refused to service him for whatever reason. I'm not entirely certain. So, angry as he no doubt has the right to be, he went ahead and he went to the parking lot. He drove in, parked his car at the exit in the entrance to prevent people from coming or leaving. So NCSoft here were concerned, so they went ahead and called the police to have him removed, as is their right to do. This guy was, I don't know what he was thinking, blocking the parking lot for staff members that are working there. Like, the logic escapes me, but they called the police. This guy was arrested, and then instead of settling this between NCSoft and the player or players that were concerned with not having been reimbursed for what they spent, they decided, I am going to make an example of this guy. I am going to take this guy to court. I am going to sue him. What? This guy spent $3.5 million on your game. He literally just wanted reimbursed for the rollback and the money he spent after the rollback, and you guys are suing him? Are you serious? What? In what world is that an acceptable route to take? Oh my god, I am serious, guys. These South Korean developers, these South Korean publishers are insane. I've always known that NCSoft were incredibly greedy with both their developed and published games, both within South Korea and outside of South Korea. But this is taking it to a whole new level that I never expected. Now, this is being covered by other YouTubers. This is being covered by news outlets within South Korea and even expanding outside of South Korea. Politicians are getting involved in this. It is a mess of proportions I had never expected were capable of being blown up to. So, man, what do you guys think though? After spending what do you guys even have $3.5 million to spend in a game? Because if so, wow, good on you. But for everyone else, what do you guys think about spending $3.5 million US on a mobile game? And furthermore, what do you think should have happened here? Do you think NCSoft should have reimbursed these players that spent money after the fact? Or do you think that giving them half of what they spent as in-game currency and the other half as the holy water required to upgrade their I don't even remember what it was, their patterns? Do you think that is an acceptable compromise here? Let me know down in the comment section below and let's talk about it. Anyway, guys, that is it from me. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you guys next time.
Peace.